my gosh, I don't know what year it was, but it's a long time ago, it said that no company, no one should make a dime of profit off of healthcare. Well, if that's the case, set healthcare aside. I don't see my doctor every day. I do have to eat every day. Nobody should make a dime off of groceries. No, nobody should make a dime off of, none of the cities should make a dime off of water. You should get free everything. Well, fast forward to 2021, and that's pretty much what they're promoting.
866-90 Red Eye.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
Red Eye Radio comes to you on demand when you subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, or even your favorite podcast reader. Get more info at redeyeradioshow.com, keyword podcast.
Howdy, professional drivers. Homer Hogg here, Director of Technical Service for TA Truck Service. As a professional driver, you know replacing tires is a major expense. But what if you could save on tire costs without sacrificing performance or safety? Well, with high-quality Max Tread retread tires, you can. Right now, dry tires are $219 per tire, and trailer tires are just $199 per tire when you buy two or more. Only need a single? Get one dry tire for $244 or one trailer tire for $224. That's more savings. Only at TA Truck Service.
TA Metro, full service means at your service.
Offer valid through April 30th, 2021 at participating TA Truck Service locations. Price includes cap and casing. Does not include mounting, labor, balancing, valve stems, or state and local taxes.
The St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund, with sponsorship from OOIDA, offers free vaccine vouchers for all over-the-road truck drivers with a current Class A CDL. Eligible drivers can receive free flu, shingles, and pneumonia vaccines. The free vaccine vouchers can be used at Walgreens, Kroger brand stores, or the little clinics. Drivers are required to show their Class A CDL along with a voucher. Go to truckersfund.org and click on the Health and Wellness tab to get your voucher.
Ready to haul more freight with less hassle? Collect fast, reliable settlements with Mercer Transportation's Quick Pay program. We've been in business for over 40 years, helping owner-operators succeed. It's your truck, your business, and your future, so get it into high gear while the industry is booming. Pick your own loads or work with our local operators to find the right freight for your truck. Visit mercertown.com for details about the support we offer owner-operators, including steep discounts on fuel, tires, and insurance. Visit mercertown.com today.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1 million miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at redeyeradioshow.com. That's redeyeradioshow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, House Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris, encouraging you to take the Purple Pledge and support the 47 million people worldwide who are living with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias.
The number of Americans living with Alzheimer's is growing at an alarming rate. 10% of people over the age of 65 have the disease, and 2/3 of them are women. New research is making it possible to detect Alzheimer's disease and providing an accurate diagnosis earlier than ever before. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. As a parent, it can be scary to hand the car keys to your teenager. To help your teen stay safe, be a good role model and follow traffic laws yourself. Set rules for your teen, including wearing a seatbelt, driving only during the day, and with limited distractions, including from their passengers. Finally, make sure your teen knows it is never okay to text and drive. For a sample driving agreement for teens, visit healthychildren.org.
My name is Tom Thornton.
And my name is Cindy Thornton.
We're retired, and this is how we live united.
We decided to volunteer with United Way at our community free health clinic.
United Way is how we contribute, because we know our time and money are going to the right places.
Judging by the thank yous we get at the clinic, I'd say we're doing the right thing with our retirement too. We're Tom and Cindy Thornton. We volunteer at our community free health clinic. We don't just wear the shirt.
We live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Queen Latifah. Even with heart failure, my mother remained strong.
Because without strength, you lose hope. Together, we will rise above heart failure.
To help prevent, improve, or manage heart failure, go to riseabovehf.org.
Many of the locally owned and operated restaurants you love are staying open to serve you during this difficult time. To find a list of these restaurants, visit newsradio1440.com. Eat local and help our local businesses stay open.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Hurley, and I'm Gary McNamara, 86690 Red Eye. Let's go to Ron in North Carolina. Ron, welcome. You're on Red Eye Radio. Welcome to the show. Hi.
How's it going? Thanks for having me. I listen to y'all on my commute home every night. It's fun to listen to.
Thank you.
Y'all touched on the funding the police, which is just ridiculous in itself, but I won't talk a whole lot about that. But have you ever thought that, all they talk about is a cop killing a black male or a black person, and that's it, and they're pushing that agenda, because, it's sad to say, but other people get shot too. But when you steadily do that over and over again to the public, it's just, they're pushing this. It's terrible. It's really terrible where we're at as the United States of America. It really is.
Well, it's not terrible where the United States of America is at, because most people are cool with each other. What's the problem is the lie of systemic racism that's being pushed by Democrats. But you make a point, and it was, I think, late last week where we read the column from John Lott, who's done a ton of research on police officers and shootings out there, and what he said was it's more likely that a black cop will shoot a black suspect than a white cop will shoot a black suspect when you actually look at all the demographics out there. But you make a great point that what's lost in this are that white unarmed suspects are shot by police officers also. Armed white suspects are. In fact, there are more. Are there a greater percentage as to their population of blacks? Yes, but the crime rate is also higher in many of these locations where it happens. But we know, because it's obvious, that if a white suspect gets killed, it's not news. It's only news if you can make it that this is more evidence of systemic racism.
Right.
That's true.
Right. That's the only thing that plays into the agenda.
Right. That plays into the agenda. So it's not a human life has been taken. Let's investigate whether a human life was taken justifiably or not by a police officer. It is systemic racism as if it's only happening. And so I understand how you get to that point. It seems like the way the media reports it, cops only shoot blacks. They don't shoot whites. And of course we know that's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah. That is the furthest from the truth. And that's why we talked about it last week and brought up numbers, the actual statistics, because that's what you need to do. You notice they don't bring up statistics. They want to stay away from it as far as possible. And when you bring up statistics, they say, oh, that's just justifying your belief in systemic racism. Right. Yeah, that's what I do. I bring up evidence in order to justify something that I don't believe in.
Right.
This hour's news is brought to you by Travel Centers of America, home of World's Lens Coffee, the freshest roast on the road.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.
If you like listening to Red Eye On Demand, we have more of Eric Harley and guests for you. Download RER's Extra Mile podcast. More topics and issues discussed.
You didn't become a trucker for the accolades. You did it because you love the open road. The long stretches of scenic highway are a reward in themselves. The beautiful mountain passes, boundless deserts, and cityscapes on the horizon that creep up and become bustling metropolises help make it all worth it. And as the wheels keep on turning, you keep on earning. That's why we've designed Shell Rotella synthetic engine oils. They provide longer drain intervals compared to conventional engine oils to keep you on the road longer and protect your engine against wear, deposits, oil breakdown, and the tough temperatures you may encounter along the way. Shell Rotella synthetic engine oils keep your truck running smoothly wherever the journey takes you. So at your next oil change, ask for Shell Rotella synthetic engine oil and get back on the open road. Shell Rotella, the engine oil that works as hard as you.
If you're a trucking industry professional, then you need to stay on top of changing regulations, equipment upgrades, and technology advancements. Fleet Owner Magazine gives you all of this and more. Written for fleet executives and managers, Fleet Owner gives you the business intelligence on operations, vehicle maintenance, regulations, and information technology you need to stay ahead. But that's not all. With its monthly print publication, daily and weekly email newsletters, and a website updated several times a day, Fleet Owner has all the latest news and information delivered to you when you want it and where you want it. From industry experts to award-winning writers and columnists, Fleet Owner is the #1 source for trucking information in North America. Remember to visit fleetowner.com every day for the latest industry news. You can also sign up to receive Newsline, their free email newsletter, and subscribe to Fleet Owner Magazine. Visit fleetowner.com. Fleet Owner, for news you can use.
Red Eye Radio and our sponsors are devoted to trucking safety. That's why we are proud to bring you the Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club. We've been saluting drivers who have surpassed the million-mile mark with preventable, accident-free driving. By reaching this milestone, you can be a part of an elite club of drivers who share remarkable safety records and demonstrate superior driving skills. If you or someone you know is a truck driver with 1 million miles or more of driving under your belt without a preventable accident, register online at redeyeradioshow.com. That's redeyeradioshow.com. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club would not be possible without the generous support of the fine folks from Petro Stopping Centers, House Lubricator, Motel 6, the St. Christopher Fund, and Cat Scale. We applaud the individual truckers and fleets who drive with care and keep our highways safe. The Red Eye Radio Million Mile Club, devoted to trucking safety. Register online at redeyeradioshow.com.
News Radio 1440, the home of the University of Alabama baseball. Also heard on 95.1 HD3 WLW.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Dell Small Business.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
Good evening, my fellow Americans.
President Biden delivers his first speech to a joint session of Congress tonight. He's expected to outline a $1.8 trillion proposal that includes free community college and pre-K for all 3- and 4-year-olds. More from correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
Typically, when Congress comes together to hear from a president, roughly 1,600 people pack into the House chamber. Tonight, it'll be about 200 spread all around the space. There'll be no First Lady's box, no designated survivor. Many cabinet secretaries in the line of succession will be watching from home. President Biden will be introduced by the first African-American sergeant at arms. And seated behind Mr. Biden, the first woman to serve as speaker and the first female vice president.
Medical experts are backing the CDC's new guidelines that say it's okay to take your mask off outdoors if you're fully vaccinated. Infectious disease specialist Dr. Tazon Bell at the University of Virginia.
We know that being outside rather than being inside does limit the spread of COVID-19. In addition, we know that being fully vaccinated does decrease the risk of asymptomatic infection. So putting the two together, it makes a lot of sense.
In Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Several protesters were arrested for breaking curfew the night before a court hearing on request to release body cam video of police shooting Andrew Brown Jr. to death. City Manager Montre Freeman.
I am very concerned. Mr. Brown's family deserves some transparency that they're not receiving. These citizens in Elizabeth City deserve it.
An independent autopsy finds Brown, who was black, was shot 4 times in the arm and once in the back of the head. The FBI is launching a civil rights investigation. Police body cam video from Alameda, California captures officers pinning Mario Gonzalez to the ground for 5 minutes before he dies.
We're going to take care of you, okay?
Police claim the 26-year-old suffered a medical emergency after they tried to handcuff him. The video shows Gonzalez grunting and shouting as he lays face down on some wood chips with one officer's elbow on his neck. A watery warning from the U.S. to Tehran. CBS's Peter King.
The Navy says 3 fast-attack Iranian Revolutionary Guard boats were about 200 feet away from the USS Firebolt and a Coast Guard patrol boat Monday night in international waters in the northern Persian Gulf. A Navy spokeswoman says the Firebolt's crew used both radio calls and loud hailing devices to warn the Iranian boats to back off.
Police in Utah looking for the person or people who etched the words white power along with pornographic words and symbols into a piece of sacred Native American art rock near Moab. This is CBS News.
Dell Technologies advisors listen to your small business needs so they can provide you with tailored solutions powered by Intel vPro platform. Call today, 877-ASK-DELL.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news, a legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Gas up while you can.
It could be difficult finding fuel for your car this summer, and it has nothing to do with a shortage of gas or oil. It has everything to do with a shortage of truck drivers, those who drive those large tanker trucks to local stations. Many drivers left the business last year as the COVID-19 pandemic led to a drastic drop in demand. There have been a few problems already. During spring break, a number of vacation hotspots in Florida and elsewhere experienced some stations with no gas. Steve Futterman, CBS News.
A reporter for the New York Post has resigned after blowback over a story claiming undocumented minors were being welcomed to the U.S. with copies of a children's book written by Kamala Harris. The headline on Laura Italiano's piece, "Come on in." She claims she was ordered to write an incorrect story and failed to push back hard enough. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Montgomery and Prattville. Matt Parsley here from Budget Car and Truck Sales. Did you miss me?
Did you miss me?
Did you miss a payment on a Tesla? Does it drive itself back to the bank? So if you hate the car you're driving, is your current payment too much? Do you owe too much on your trade? Come see me and spring into savings. I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. No matter who you bought it from, no matter how much you owe, I'm paying up to $4,000 more for all trade-ins. Better yet, you could buy with just $1 down. $1 down. And if your credit doesn't shine, you're gonna be fine. My perfect payment plan works, and it helps you drive a car you love with a payment you can afford. $4,000 more for your trade-in, a car you love, and drive a car with just $1 down. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Did you miss us? I'm Matt Parsley. I'm your dealer for the people. See all these rides at our new website, buybudgetonline.com. That's buybudgetonline.com.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car? Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed, so no call for me.
Oh, man, that's why I got me an extended service plan. That way, that blown engine would have cost you nothing to repair.
Hold up. You're saying if I had gotten that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, call 800-263-0757 right now. to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-263-0757 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Call 800-263-0757 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-263-0757. That's 800-263-0757.
They are the two sexiest fat men alive. Really fun. And you can hear Rick and Bubba on News Radio 1440 beginning at 9 a.m. Depend on it.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Mostly cloudy morning here on this Wednesday, but by the afternoon there's a good deal of sunshine and it is unseasonably warm up in the mid and upper 80s with, again, a good deal of sun. Wind will be under 10 miles an hour. The humidity will be slightly noticeable but not oppressive. Tonight we're down into the 60s before warming back up into the mid and upper 80s with more clouds than sun for Thursday, but still dry. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm late Thursday night into the day Friday.
That's the First Alert Forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery's
Something done.
brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now we're looking good. Your Wednesday, off day, kicks off with no major problems. Accidents, interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Madison, Auburn, and Greenville. 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy, still carrying light traffic. You keep listening. We'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Shopping is festive at Festival Plaza. Stop by Bougie Nails and Spa, Sheer Experience, Winger Sports Grill, and more. Festival Plaza, Taylor and Vaughn, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, front and back, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's knows.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News. The federal government says fully vaccinated people can gather safely outdoors now without wearing masks, but in small groups. President Joe Biden made that announcement outside the White House Tuesday. The CDC still recommends everyone mask up inside. Virus cases are trending down nationwide. Biden has targeted July 4th as a return to normal. Leaders across Alabama are responding to the census results, saying this is a good thing for Alabama. The state's population climbed from 4.8 million in 2010 to 5.03 million in 2020, enough to keep the state from losing any representation in Congress. The Census Bureau will release more detailed data on counties and cities in August. And the Montgomery City Council's newest member has been determined from Tuesday's election. After being forced into a runoff from last month's vote, Marsha Johnson will be the new District 3 councilwoman. She beat Adrian Larkin with about 60% of the vote. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car? Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed. So no call from me.
Oh man, that's why I got me an extended service plan. That way, that blown engine would have cost you nothing to repair.
Hold up. You're saying if I had gotten that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from $19.99 or higher, call 800-263-0757 right now to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-263-0757 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Call 800-263-0757 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-263-0757. That's 800-263-0757.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. They can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
The Jordan B. Peterson Podcast with his very special two-part guest, Joe Rogan.
Oftentimes the last hour of a 3-hour podcast is the best hour.
Yeah, well, that intuition was certainly right and revolutionary.
Part of my revolutionary idea is just me being stubborn.
The Jordan B. Peterson Podcast and special guest, Joe Rogan. Download it free and easy at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from the Westwood One Podcast Network.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine this morning, if you can. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this Elkins, couldn't give a name right there. And it is time to rise and shine. But before we do all that, it's time for our daily bread. And our daily bread's been brought to you by none other than Alabama Home Mortgage, because there is a difference in mortgage companies. And I do all my home mortgaging at Alabama Home Mortgage. Okay, if I want to refi, I get it through them. If I want to buy the first house, I get it through them. Everything I do when it comes to refi and buying home, I get it through Alabama Home Mortgage, because there's a difference in mortgage companies. We'll be back right after this.
Alabama is a state deeply rooted in military tradition, and we at Alabama Home Mortgage appreciate the sacrifices that our men and women in uniform make each and every day. I'm Kim Williams, and I'm here to tell you there is a difference in mortgage companies. Don't be fooled by mortgage companies with veteran in their name. Call the mortgage company with veterans in their blood. The entire Alabama Home Mortgage staff are children of military veterans. We understand what it means to serve. If you're looking for a VA loan, call Alabama Home Mortgage 567-4223. With a VA loan, there's no money out of pocket, 100% financing. There's simply nothing better than a VA mortgage loan. Ella, tell them what to do.
Call my mom, Kim Williams, at 567-4223. That's 567-4223.
That's right. Or visit us online at alahomemortgage.com. That's ALA homemortgage.com to get your VA home loan today. NMLS 158636A, Equal Housing Lender.
Sometimes you need to reset, refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. It is April the 28th, 2020. Well, actually 2021 AD. Our daily bread today is simply entitled Cuddling In. Our scriptural reference today is Psalms 116, 1 through 7. But Psalms 116, 7 says, "Return to your rest, my soul, for the Lord has been good to you." That is Psalms 116 and 7. And again, it is April the 28th. It is a special day today because this day, like the days of old, has never been. And I guarantee it. Oh, we'll be held accountable for what we do this day, but we will never see April the 28th, 2021 ever again. It is a once-in-a-lifetime deal, and once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past once it's gone. You don't get to do the things you should have done this day. And more importantly, you don't get a chance to go back and undo some of the things you said or that you did. So whatever it is you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. There's no doubt in my mind, if you've lived a while, you have seen, you have heard many, many yesterdays, like I tell you every day. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day that is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Or whatever it is that you decide to do, make sure you reach back and help somebody else as much as you can along the way. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever you do in life, you should do it so well, no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born should be able to do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful, because you are not a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never, ever, ever give up. You never quit, because quitters don't win, and winners, they never quit. Not that they don't fail at some things, because sometimes failure can be a great place to start again. If the mountain's too high to get over it, go around it. If it's too wide to get around it, go under it. And if it's too deep to get under, go through it. But you don't quit. You face the mountain and you drive on. But whatever you do, wherever you find yourself, don't quit. And it doesn't hurt every once in a while to get on bended knee and ask for a little help, because God of all can help you. But sometimes He'd just like you to ask. My bad. But don't ever give up, because winners don't quit. And quitters, they'll never know the taste of victory. Keep moving. Whatever you do this day, remember this. It is a great day to be alive. Cuddling in. It is April the 28th, 2021 AD. Good morning, Montgomery. It's time to rise and shine.
Alabama is a state deeply rooted in military tradition, and we at Alabama Home Mortgage appreciate the sacrifices that our men and women in uniform make each and every day. I'm Kim Williams, and I'm here to tell you there is a difference in mortgage companies. Don't be fooled by mortgage companies with veteran in their name. Call the mortgage company with veterans in their blood. The entire Alabama Home Mortgage staff are children of military veterans. We understand what it means to serve. If you're looking for a VA loan, call Alabama Home Mortgage 567-4223. With a VA loan, there's no money out of pocket, 100% financing. There's simply nothing better than a VA mortgage loan. Ella, tell them what to do.
Call my mom, Kim Williams, at 567-4223. That's 567-4223.
That's right. Or visit us online at alahomemortgage.com. That's alahomemortgage.com to get your VA home loan today. NMLS 158636A, Equal Housing Lender.
Sometimes.
Okay, it looks like my daily bread today don't want to play, but let's see if we can do a little better job than this morning. I don't know what happened. It's not Monday, is it? No, it is not. It is not Monday. It is. Well, it's not Monday. Oh, there we go.
Brad, Today's reading, titled Cuddling In, was written by Adam Holes. Daddy, will you read to me? My daughter asked. It's not an unusual question for a child to make of a parent, but my daughter is 11 now. These days, such requests are fewer than they were when she was younger. Yes, I said happily, and she curled up next to me on the couch. As I read to her from the Fellowship of the Ring, she practically melted into me. It was one of those glorious moments as a parent when we feel perhaps just an inkling of the perfect love our Father has for us and his deep desire for us to cuddle into his presence and love for us. I realized in that moment that I'm a lot like my 11-year-old. Much of the time, I'm focused on being independent. It's so easy to lose touch with God's love for us, a tender and protective love that Psalm 116 describes as gracious and righteous, full of compassion. It's a love where, like my daughter, I can curl up in God's lap, at home, in his delight for me. Psalm 116 verse 7 suggests that we might need to regularly remind ourselves of God's good love, and then crawl up into his waiting arms. Return to your rest, my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. And indeed, he has. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Psalm 116, verses 1 through 7. I love the Lord, for he heard my voice. He heard my cry for mercy. Because he turned his ear to me, I will call on him as long as I live. The cords of death entangled me. The anguish of the grave came over me. I was overcome by distress and sorrow. Then I called on the name of the Lord. Lord, save me. The Lord is gracious and righteous. Our God is full of compassion. The Lord protects the unwary. When I was brought low, he saved me. Return to your rest, my soul, for the Lord has been good to you. Let's pray. Dear God, those first few verses in Psalm 116 remind us of how desperate we are apart from you and how secure we are in you. Thank you for the assurance of life spent with you and rescuing us from spiritual death. May we lean into you today and rest in your love. Thank you for your love, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
All right, now I got it back on track.
Over Dale, we will take the dusty tramp, and those big songs will rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, how's her marching all about, and those big songs will rolling along. For it's high beating, the field artillery. Count out the numbers, let's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And we're ready to go. You will always know that those big songs will rolling along. Away, my boys, make us away. Farewell to all its joys, they say that break of day. Through our nice night of shore, hail to the pole. Until we meet once more, it's best to unhappy voyage home. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in Thee. Through howling gale and shot and shell to win our victory. Send the righteous a guide, our prayers tomorrow too. We're always ready to or die. I could stand if I
And good morning, Maxwell and Gunner. It's time to rise and shine. You guys really still are part of the regular military, aren't you? And can somebody out there bring back the 141? Okay. Woo!
To the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First we fight for island freedom, and to keep our honor free. We are proud to thank the tigers of the United States.
Well, no matter how rough my day starts, that medley of songs motivates me to get the lead out, to keep moving, keep driving on. Don't stop, don't quit, keep moving. That's those songs, that's right. Because my brothers in arms are out there, keeping on with the mission, driving on, one place to another, always in an effort to protect our way of life. You know, it's an amazing thing to me. The biggest threat to our way of life are the people who live here in America. I just call the Democratic Party. That's the biggest threat to our way of life. Woo! Of course, you know, the Chinese, they might want to take us over a little bit too, but that's a shame. But, you know, hey, like Nikita Khrushchev once said, you know, he said, America's got a bunch of useful idiots in it. And they all live in Washington, D.C., most of them. Anyway, so much for that. So we want, okay, so let me get this right. I just got to get this right. We believe that there's global warming, right? I mean, that's what the national Democrats, not the local folks. And that they believe that there's global warming. They actually believe that little bitty men can change the weather. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. Now, what I do believe is that we can change the way weather affects us. Case in point, let's say it's raining outside. Now, you're not responsible for the rain. You didn't bring the rain. However, if you don't have a roof on your house, the rain is going to affect you, right? It's going to. So that's what I mean. But we can't stop the rain. We can't start the rain. We think we can by sprinkling a little stuff, but we can't do it. Okay, we just can't do it. We can't, because if we could make water, okay, then there would not be droughts in the Sahara. Okay, in Africa, there wouldn't be people laying out on the streets without clean water if we can make water. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, common sense is not so common anymore. Okay, I'm just, you know, because if we could do all the things that the Democrats say we're doing now, and now there's a restaurant that won't sell beef. You know why they won't sell beef? Because they say that cows contribute, and they do, but so do we, to global warming or something. Because cows have a tendency to fart a lot, you know. You do. Yeah, and cars do that. I mean, cows do that. They have a tendency to pass gas. Now, the cow's been passing gas since Jimmy Carter was teenager. Anyway, or something like that. I mean, that's what cows do. They eat, they chew the cud, whatever it is that they do, and then they pass gas. Okay? So that's why I always kind of smell when you go across that place, huh? I didn't realize that. But anyway, Those are just dumb things that national Democrats want to do. Now we've already seen the product of their work in Texas this year. See, we decided that we didn't want no regular. We couldn't use oil to fuel our grid system. No. We're gonna put out fans. What are those windmills? We're gonna put windmills. See, now Texas is a pretty big place, right? It's a pretty big place. So we're gonna put out windmills in order to fuel our energy production. But you know what they forgot? That in order to use a windmill, what must be available freely and at your disposal? You got it. It needs to be wind. So if the wind's not blowing, then the windmill is not moving. And if the windmill's not moving, then what does that mean? That means we're not fueling our grid system. We're not fueling. So that means what's going to happen? What's going to happen is what did happen. People were freezing in their homes because they could not power their power grid. See, these are the things that Democrats come up with because it looks good in theory on paper. I got to tell you, listen, we all are concerned about the environment, aren't we? Aren't we? I think we are. But not that bad. I'm not that concerned with it. But anyway, I just thought I'd tell you. So let's move on to something else. We don't want to get involved in that. We had an election yesterday, but we'll get to that and all that stuff in a little bit here. So let's take a break, and we'll be back at 6:33 in the morning right here in the capital city of Montgomery, Alabama. What a great place to live. Hey Siri, what percentage of 14,000 is 874? Wow, that's what I thought. I thought it was 16%. It's 6%. Okay. 6%. All right.
Brain's neurotransmitters. Find out if TMS is right for you. Contact IVH of Montgomery at 256-975-4162 or log on ivhus.com.
Sam, put your shoes on. We're headed to the doctor in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Hey, am I going to have to get a shot?
Yes, it's time for your yearly vaccines. We have to make sure all your vaccines are up to date before you start back to school. I have to provide.
Law requires children of all ages to be up to date on their immunizations before attending school. Every child needs to be vaccinated against polio, diphtheria, tetanus, pertussis, also measles, mumps, rubella, and chickenpox. Half of Alabama residents use a septic tank. Are you one of them? Septic tanks are used where municipal sewers are not available, and maintenance is important. Failing septic tank systems can endanger your family, pollute the environment, and be expensive to repair. So know the warning signs: wet spots in your yard, slow draining toilets or drains, gurgling sounds in drains, and sewage odors. You can prevent your system from failing by having your tank pumped every 3 to 5 years. Keep a separate container for grease and dispose of it properly. Use detergents low in phosphate and spread laundry loads over several days as to not overload the system with too much water. You need a permit before installing a new system or before repairing an existing one. Your local health department has a copy of the septic tank system permit that indicates the location of your system and the size of the tank.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris. For more information, visit our website, www.alabamapublichealth.gov.
Hi everybody, I'm Vicki Gunvalson. You probably know me as the OG of the OC. Very special guest, Vicki Gunvalson. Believe me, I'm a lot more than just a Real Housewife. And now I'm tackling a whole new territory with my very own podcast. It's called Whoop It Up with Vicki. And I'm talking about my life as a Real Housewife in front of the camera and behind the scenes. Subscribe to Whoop It Up with Vicki so you don't miss it.
The Westwood One Podcast Network, where the conversation starts.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lamre Pelusi with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Getting ready for a new baby is a busy time. An important decision is how you will feed your baby. Breastfeeding will give your baby the best start in life. Breast milk is easy to digest and it has all the nutrients your baby needs. Breast milk protects babies from diseases and infections, and the close physical contact creates a special bond. If you have questions about breastfeeding, talk with your pediatrician and visit healthychildren.org.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Tomorrow at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
And welcome back, everybody. Well, it's time, for me to do my thing. Same thing every morning because, repetition is the ingredient of perfection. Okay, so I'm trying to perfect this system I got in the mornings here. Lessons of life. Now, my lessons of life part of the show is things that I hope you'll take into consideration as you live this thing we call life. What I do is I go out and I find people a lot smarter than I am, and I see the things they say and the way they live their lives, and I try to pass it on to you and myself at the same time to see whether or not it can help me if I were to put it into practice. And this is the lesson of life today. Life is a journey. Be careful of the roads you travel, because some of those roads lead to nowhere. Okay, so just remember that. Tell your kids that. That's a good one. Because just because you're going up the road doesn't mean you're going to end up in a great place. So be careful of the roads that you take. Word of the day. This is to help you, broaden your vocabulary. Okay, that's what this is all about, right? Help you. So when your boss uses big words on your counseling form, whether or not you get ready to get fired or you're going to have a job for a while. Okay. Today's word of the day means one with sensitive and discriminating taste, especially in food or wine. That sounds like me. So of course I don't know about wine. I've never tasted wine, so I don't really know. But I'm gonna take, if I live when I hit 65, I'm gonna have me a beer, and I'm gonna have me some wine, and I'm gonna have me some of that some rum. Yeah, and maybe a Tanqueray or something. I've never had alcohol. I'm gonna wait till I'm 65 years old, and then I'm gonna get drunk. Okay, at least one time in my life to see how it feels. It probably is not that great, but at least I can be able. That's on my bucket list is to get drunk once. Okay, that's on the bucket list. Okay, so the word of the day: one with sensitive and discriminating taste, especially in food or wine. What do they call that kind of person? An epicure. Okay, so the next time you need to go to a fancy restaurant and say, is there an epicure around? And now he probably won't know what you're talking about, but that's okay. You'll come out looking like a brilliant individual, one who is sophisticated with a pedigree that is creme de la creme. Okay, I'm just saying. Epicure. That is the word, because you, my friend, have discriminating taste, especially in food or wine. Epicure. Okay. All right, moving right along, some of the things that happened. It is April the 28th, 2021. On this day, believe it, it was this day, in what year is that? In 1945, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini and his mistress, Clara Petaggi, were executed by Italian partisans as they attempted to flee the country. In 1758, the fifth president of the United States, James Monroe, was born in Westmoreland County, Virginia. Not that that's a big deal, but I just thought you might want to know. In 1788, on this day, Maryland became the seventh state to ratify the Constitution of the United States. I'm still trying to figure out how did they, back in the day, before all these maps came up, and then we didn't have GPS and all that stuff, how did they know what state they were in? Maybe somebody can tell me that later on. In 1789, there was a mutiny on HMS Her Majesty's ship, the Bounty, after rebelling crew members of the British ship, led by Fletcher Christian, set the captain, William Bligh, and 18 others adrift in a launch in the South Pacific. Bligh and most of the men, of course, did reach minor Timor in 47 days. Mutiny on the Bounty. I love that movie. 1918, Gavrilo Princip, 23 years old, is the assassin of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria, okay, and the Archduke's wife, Sophie. He died in prison of tuberculosis. I know we have a hard time figuring out United States history. In 1958, the United States conducted the first of 35 nuclear test explosions in the Pacific Proving Grounds as part of Operation Hardtack. Vice President Richard Nixon and his wife, Pat, began a goodwill tour of Latin America that was marred by hostile mobs in Lima, Peru, and Caracas, Venezuela. Yeah, that's got my little Spanish lingo going on right there. So, most of you guys can't say Venezuela, but I know how to say that. 1967, heavyweight boxing champion Muhammad Ali was stripped of his title after he refused to be inducted into the armed forces. U.S. Army General William C. Westmoreland told Congress that backed at home by resolve, confidence, patience, and determination, and a continued support, we will prevail in Vietnam over the communist aggression. Obviously, we didn't really do that good over there. And for a long time, I really didn't think a whole lot of Muhammad Ali because he didn't go to Vietnam. Now that's how stupid I was. Because I said to myself, well, if it's about killing people, you can kill somebody in the ring. But as I got older, and I got to thinking about this, I said, well, let me make this right. 1967 was not necessarily one of the greatest years in American history for Black people. So I said, well, maybe he had something there. I mean, why go fight somebody else and then turn around and got to come back home and fight too? So I digress. I gave the brother some props, and you know what? I think he did the right thing at that particular moment. Now, and I could have did it, but I think he did the right thing in 1967. So Ali, simplify. 1980, President Jimmy Carter accepted the resignation of Secretary of State Cyrus Vance, who had opposed the failed rescue mission aimed at freeing American hostages in Iran. Vance was succeeded, of course, by Edwin Muskie. 1988, a flight attendant was killed and more than 60 persons injured when part of the roof of the Aloha Airlines Boeing 737 tore off during a flight from Hilo to Honolulu. I was over there then, and I remember that really sucked. But anyway, 1990, a chorus line closed after 6,137 performances on Broadway. In 1993, the first Take Our Daughters to Work Day, promoted by the New York-based Ms. Foundation was held in an attempt to boost the self-esteem of girls by letting them visit their parents' place of work. The event was later expanded to include sons. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. My son don't want to come up here, though. In 1994, on this day, CIA official Aldrich Ames, who had betrayed U.S. secrets to the Soviet Union and then Russia, pleaded guilty to espionage and tax evasion and was sentenced to life in prison without parole. In 1996, a man armed with a semi-automatic rifle went on a rampage in Australian island of Tasmania, killing 35 people. The gunman was captured after a 12-hour standoff at a guest cottage and is now serving a life prison sentence. And it was 10 years ago today that Kansas Governor Kathleen Sebelius won Senate confirmation 65-31 as Health and Human Services Secretary. Senator Arlen Specter of Pennsylvania defected from the Republican Party, joining the Democrats in that vote. Country singer Vern Gotton, chiseled in stones, died in Nashville at the age of 74. And it was 5 years ago that President Barack Obama arrived in the Philippines on the last stop of a week-long Asia tour that also included Japan, South Korea, and Malaysia. And 1 year ago, Alfie Evans, a 23-month-old terminally ill British toddler who had been at the center of a legal battle over his treatment, died in a British hospital. Doctors said further treatment for his degenerative brain condition was futile and that he should be allowed to die. That's a decision I don't think I ever want to make. But his parents fought for months to take him to the Vatican's Children's Hospital so he could be kept on life support. Jacob Cartwright, a trucker who was missing in a snowstorm area of Oregon for 4 days after his GPS device sent him up the wrong road, emerged from the remote and rugged region after walking 36 miles to safety. Now, you know, I tell you guys about them GPSs, okay? Those GPSs, they're not as good as you think they are. So there's a woman who drove off a bridge following a GPS. Now, I don't know how that works if you cannot see the end of the bridge or whatever the case may be, but GPSs, okay, use a little common sense with your GPS. Anybody know what GPS stands for? Okay, Global Positioning Satellite, okay? Okay, but that satellite's not down here in Montgomery. So keep your eyes open when you use a GPS, or you will be probably in the water or run into a tree. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, technology is a wonderful thing, but you cannot, okay, I'm just saying, you cannot solely depend on technology to get you around in the world. Sometimes you got to use a little common sense, okay? If you see a river in front of you and the GPS is taking you across it, I probably would tell the GPS, maybe we should go in a different direction, okay? And those are the things, some of the things that have happened on this day, okay? I'm just saying, okay? We're also going to talk about the election last night, who won, and again, a very, very, very poor, almost insulting representation of the voters in District 3, because only 6% of the voters showed up at the poll. 6%, 874 people out of over 14,000 votes. What is it going to take to get you folks to participate in the process? I mean, what's it going to take? You know, we whine, we complain about the way things are, we're never satisfied, and maybe you shouldn't be satisfied, I don't know. But just what is it going to take to make, We whine. We say Black Lives Matter. Well, some of those Black lives ought to go vote. Okay, most of 800 and how many people do we have vote? We had five. Not very many. We had 350 plus 274. Okay, yeah, 800 and something. Anyway, it was 6%. 6% of the registered, that's just the registered voters that showed up at the polls. What a shame and a disgrace. Maybe we just, man, hey, but the minute, now here's the problem. The minute we say we're going to take voting places away, we'll be in the streets downtown Montgomery whining about we trying to stop people from voting. we'll be downtown. You trying to hurt us from voting. Well, when only 6% of people come out and vote, yeah, I'd probably close some of them down too. If JC Love was to do that, my Lord, we'd try to tar and feather the guy. I'm just saying, maybe we should get our act together and start participating in the process, or don't come out on the streets holding up your signs and painting murals all over the place if you don't participate in the process. Okay? Stop the whining. Now let's see who this is. Who's this? Yes. That's right.
Because people don't really put things to the fullest length of their thought. Like right now, we got these lug wrenches that use air pressure to take the lugs off the car. You're seeing them when
hydraulic, yeah, sure.
They're not using hydraulic; they're using air pressure.
Air pressure, right. But that air pressure, but let me say, that air pressure is produced by what? What produces the air that goes into the system? Exactly. So there's a mechanical device there that artificially producing that air. Well, so I'm with you. Yeah, so it's the purpose. But the grid.
Windmill is a generator. A generator generates electricity, correct? And if the compressor works by electricity, then what would be a problem for it generating the air pressure to keep?
Oh, they wouldn't. Right. They wouldn't be. I agree with you, but. Wow. I think it's not necessarily having a high degree of education. It is having the ability to I think to combine common sense with knowledge and to be able to come up with a solution for a particular situation. Well, can we make water? What ocean though? But can't you? But isn't there a process? Isn't there a process? Right. So why don't we? Mm-hmm. Well, I do believe that it is not at the extent that a lot of people are whining about. I just don't believe it. I just don't. Yeah. What's that? Now I don't say it don't exist individually, But I'm not. I don't think our systems of government. Now I could be just naive. I just yeah. Hmm. Okay. Well, again, we get color mixed up with philosophy, and again, and but again, now look at what happened here in Montgomery. We got 14,000 people in District 3. Okay, then run yourself. Then run yourself. If you don't have faith in the people that are running, according to what I'm looking at, 524 votes for Marche, 350 for Larkin. That comes out to about 807. Anyway, whatever it runs out. It's not very many. It's 6%. It's 6% of the voting. No, you be your leader. You run. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm. I Hey, you can continue this conversation at 8 o'clock. I gotta go right now because my time is up. 874 people went out to vote. At least that's what the paper says. Now, somebody said they almost had 1,000 people. We'll see. That's still not enough. We'll be back.
Now, your WSFA 12
Shane gone.
News Radio 1440.
Oh, yes, indeed.
I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News. The
It's
federal
been
government
too
is
hard
fully
living.
to gather safely outdoors now without wearing masks, but in small groups. President Joe Biden made that announcement outside the White House Tuesday. The CDC still recommends everyone mask up inside. Virus cases are trending down nationwide. Biden has targeted July 4th as a return to normal. Leaders across Alabama are responding to the census results, saying this is a good thing for Alabama. The state's population climbed from 4.8 million in 2010 to 5.03 million in 2020, enough to keep the state from losing in representation in Congress. The Census Bureau will release more detailed data on counties and cities in August. And the Montgomery City Council's newest member has been determined from Tuesday's election. After being forced into a runoff from last month's vote, Marche Johnson will be the new District 3 councilwoman. She beat Adrian Larkin with about 60% of the vote. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440. WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
It's a big day here at the White House, no question.
Spokeswoman Jen Psaki on CBS this morning as President Biden gets ready to deliver his first address to a joint session of Congress. Correspondent Stephen Portnoy.
The primetime speech offers the president the chance to reach tens of millions of Americans as he makes the case to Congress for trillions in new spending on physical infrastructure and the social programs his aides call human infrastructure. The address may appear sparsely attended. The House chamber, which typically holds about 1,600 people for such speeches, will see just 200 on the floor and in the galleries.
Among two programs Mr. Biden will outline, free community college and expanded pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds. Republican Senator John Kennedy's take.
I knew the president would be left of center, and I understand that elections have consequences, but I never thought he'd be left of center.
A new study shows even half of a 2-dose COVID shot goes a long way. CBS's Vicky Barker from London.
The British researchers found even a single injection of either the Pfizer or AstraZeneca vaccine reduced household transmission of COVID-19 by up to 50%, suggesting that the vaccines are even more effective at slowing the spread of the coronavirus than previously thought.
In North Carolina, Elizabeth City police arrested several protesters. curfew ahead of a court hearing today to consider the release of full body cam video of Andrew Brown's death. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez.
This was a newly implemented curfew the city manager explained to us was necessary because outside groups had started to come in and they felt tensions were growing.
An independent autopsy found police fired 5 shots at Brown, 1 in the back of his head as he drove away when they tried to serve drug warrants. In the spotlight in the Supreme Court today, a cheerleader who blasted her high school with foul language on Snapchat after she was cut from the team. Loyola Law's Lori Levinson.
The broader principle at stake here is how much First Amendment protection will there be for students in an era where everything can be readily accessed through cell phones and social media.
Republicans in Arizona approved sweeping anti-abortion legislation. KPHO TV's Brianna Whitney.
SB 1457 will now make it a Class 6 felony for doctors to perform an abortion solely due to a genetic abnormality, including Down syndrome. That means doctors could go to prison for up to 2 years.
A New York Post reporter has resigned after penning an article claiming undocumented children were being given Kamala Harris' book, Superheroes Are Everywhere, as welcome presents. It wasn't true. S&P futures down 1. This is CBS News.
874. CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
The vice principal of a school in New Jersey is apologizing over a viral video showing his wife complaining about a trans woman using the ladies' bathroom.
Michael Smurrow at Neptune Middle School says he's sorry he tossed a beer at people who were filming his wife complaining about a transgender woman in the ladies' bathroom. Here's an excerpt from his wife Lisa's exchange with restaurant patrons.
She's a man. She was in a blurred dancing. You're being inappropriate.
Michael Smurrow tossed a beer at the customers, then later apologized, saying he doesn't condone violence or discrimination. The Neptune School District calls the event troubling and says it's under investigation. Allison Keyes, CBS News.
History on the baseball diamond. The 22-year-old Blue Jay not only knocked 1 out of the park, but 3. Guerrero is the youngest player to accomplish that feat since at least 1901. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Rustic furniture at factory direct prices.
70% off every day.
How can we sell so cheap?
Because we're a direct outlet for the factory. The truckloads arriving weekly.
Whether you're looking for bedroom suits, tables and chairs, occasional tables, entertainment centers, consoles, gun cabinets, bathroom vanities, if it's rustic, we got you covered. And it's all up to 70% off every day. Rustic furniture outlet.
Well, where's my brain going wrong today?
By Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car?
Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed. So no call from me.
Oh man,
It is cold in here.
That way, that blown engine would have cost
I
you
gotta wear
nothing.
coat every day. Hold up. You're saying if I had gotten that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from 1999 or higher, call 800-263-0757 right now to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-263-0757 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Call 800-263-0757 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-263-0757. That's 800-263-0757.
You know I would if I He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Monday afternoon at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, we're back. We're ready to go. Yeah, so we good morning to everybody. I hope this day finds you well. Somebody told me my brain must not be working today. I just want to know to what part of my brain. Did you hear the story about the principal whose wife was complaining that a trans woman went into the women's bathroom and they dogging the guy? Well, see, this is the problem I have with the world today, with America today. There's no such thing as a trans woman. You are either born a male or you are born a female. Okay? You are not a woman because you think you are. Okay? See, this is the part. So the Democrats always tell us, well, pay attention to the science. Well, the science says that a female and a male are denoted by the Y and the X chromosome. Okay? I'm just saying. So we dogging a guy because his wife was absolutely 100% correct. There's no such thing as a trans woman. It is what's between your legs, not between your ears, that make you what you are. Okay? So we dogging this guy in New Jersey is kind of a weird place anyway. But you see, this is what's wrong with America. Now, if you can think you are a woman, all you want to, I got no problem with that. If you, I'm looking at my 600-pound life yesterday, and this guy was on there 700 pounds. Big. He thought he was a woman too. But yeah, but I was born a guy. Well, unless he got reborn as a girl, he's still a guy. But hey, I got no problem with him wanting to dress up like a woman, because hey, listen, that's him. You do you, I do me. I just want to let you do me. I got no problem with that. But the science says, and the good Lord says, you are a male. There's no such animal. There's no such thing. And I will debate anybody on this. There's no such thing as a trans anything. Okay? It is a made up, okay, situation. Okay? No such thing. No male has ever turned into a female. No female has ever turned into a male. Won't happen, won't ever happen, because the good Lord didn't make it that way. Okay? I'm just telling you, this is what's wrong with America. Now, I got no problem if you think you are a woman. Hey, I think I'm 6'3". I got no problem with that. What you think is totally up to you. But scientifically, in the realm of reality, you are still that which you were born. I'm going to leave that alone. Okay? Go on something else. But this is the problem we have in America right now. Okay? They say we got about 20 different genders. Really? Explain. Anyway, let's go to the phone. Good morning. Who's this? Marche. Oh, no. But I knew she wasn't coming. Yeah, I knew she wasn't coming. See, everybody who comes on my show most of the time wins. Okay, I'm just saying that because people know if you can deal with me, you can deal with anything. Yeah, it does. Listen, and it motivate them to vote for you or against you. But at least they come out and vote. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but I just know. Okay, yeah. All right. Appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Morning.
The gentleman before the break, I usually just listen to your timeline and all that. By the time I get ready to leave the house or whatever, I try to get in. But he brought up probably one of the most interesting topics that we've had in a while. And I want to say a couple of things, and then I want to add to what he said. And that is, last night, I didn't sleep very well. I went out on the streets, right? And everywhere I went, I smelled marijuana. That's scary.
Hey, you too? You can't even pull up to the red light now without smelling it.
I don't know what to do. I know a gentleman. This is another thing. First, let me get out why I really called. It was a book. You were in talk radio, and I don't know how in depth you got into it back in 1994, called The Bell Curve.
Familiar? Oh, yeah, familiar, yeah.
Everybody should revisit that and look at where we are. The year 2022 is going to be worse than 2020. There's so much that's going down. That's going to be the 50th anniversary of social promotion, what they're doing in the schools. 50 years, 1972. Anyway, back to what the gentleman was talking about. I can remember you and I went up to the Public Service Commission one year to protest, because we don't have any representation. People protect us from a huge monopoly, and that's the Southern Company. Well, the last time they gave themselves a 15% pay raise, I went up there, and I was the only person there outside of a few activists from out west who were monitoring that. And the AARP gave me an award for going up there. But anyway, I filmed it, and this is when the PSC commissioner compared, there's no reason to come. It's like a football game. The game was over. We've given the raise. They raised everybody's raise 50%. But anyway, I filmed this, and I put it up on the internet, on Pop Cubs, on YouTube. And I asked Judge Garner, there's a gentleman by the name of Phil Williams. He's a senator, federal county. And he got a bill go through and pass where you have to get permission from the Public Service Commission or Alabama Power to put a windmill on your property. Solar energy got away. But what that gentleman was talking about this morning, there's all kinds of ways as we go into this post Soil and Green era, Road Warrior, Mad Max. We start to recover, like in The Postman. It was one of the greatest movies ever made. Anyway, you can probably take solar panels to power a generator when there's no wind to push the turbine to generate the have a battery. And it's perpetual, and it'll always run. We need to take engineering approaches to everything we do. Leave the emotions alone, because they don't work. Emotions are your worst enemy. And everything that we do is with the 24-hour news cycles that we have, and like you're just talking about that, and all of this crap, and we're gonna let it get away from us. But as an individual, I was getting ready to do that. And I heard that this guy had put this bill out there because they didn't want us to have wind power on our property. And that's a law. And I asked Judge Garner, I said, how much money, actually it was Alabama Power, they had a panel there. And I asked them, how much money did you all spend to get every member of the legislative body to vote for that bill? And they closed the meeting down and shut it down. And I'm in the elevator. I had some people, where'd you come from? I'm not going to tell you.
But I will admit, I will say one, and I remember that. But it is an amazing thing to me that man is so arrogant, that our legislature is so arrogant at that time to think that they have the power to stop us from using what God gave us. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Well, all right. I mean, if you can only get 6% of the people to come out and vote, and again, though, listen, I think it's a two-part thing. I do like what J.C. Love did. J.C. Love, for the first time since I've been here, used his office to promote this election, telling people, to get out and vote. I think we got a few more this time than we did last time, but in an election with 14,000 people, we got 874 people to come out and vote. And again, if they start shutting down voting precincts because not enough people show up to validate the effort, then people are going to be complaining. But what is supposed to do? So we're supposed to hire all these people to sit in all these places, and nobody hardly shows up. I mean, does that make sense to anybody? No, it economically, it just doesn't make sense to do that, But anyway, but I want to thank J.C. Love for getting out there and just telling people to vote. So I believe we did get a few more on this one than we did in the last one. I think we were at 3% of the votes last time, so we got a few more votes out. But at this rate, it is going to take a Herculean twice-fold effort in order to get people to vote. And so now the question is, why don't people vote very much? Now that's a great question. As why don't people vote very much? That is I think that's a. Do they not feel franchised? Do they not feel that it makes a difference? And one thing about it, it certainly ain't gonna make a difference. You don't go vote. And if 3 people put your elected representatives in, those 3 people decide the direction in which you go without your participation. Good morning. Good morning.
We have a new person in town.
We got a new rep over there. That's right.
How my baby doing?
You sleep when I left.
Mm-hmm. Let me tell you this. I heard you make that statement about the persons not going out to vote. But why do you think that is in this city? The people get so disgusted what's going on. They give you the answer right there. They figure there's no lot of changes. It changes where it should be changed. And that's the reason why. There's always an answer to why a person's not doing things. And that's the answer.
Well, if they're not,
folks, maybe that'd be a different change.
Well, maybe if they feel that way, why don't they run?
Well, if they run, they're going to, most of the time, they're going to vote for the same persons, and which they're not doing anything. And a lot of the persons here in the city, they feel that why vote for them? They're going to just put the same back in. They just don't do the right thing in this city. Just like I told you about the person here in North Pass about the house that's burnt. The city just seemed to be ignoring that poor lady. I don't care what you say. If it was in a different part of the city, they would take care of the situation. It's a shame and a disgrace. I'm going to tell you, some of them be thrown out of office.
We'll have a call up here. We'll have a call up here. Let me talk to her on the air. We'll get. Yeah, we'll get something done for her. Yeah. All right, my dear. Appreciate it. Take one more call before I take my first break. Good morning. Who's this?
Jeff, how you?
Pretty good.
Yeah, Ms. Daisy kind of hit the nail on the head. You asked the question, and I think you guys know the answer, but you just refuse to accept it. And I'm gonna give you two examples, and I'm gonna slide off until you come up to your first break. When Roy Moore ran, the voting lines were from here to Jerusalem because people understood. They got their point across. People followed the vision. Back during the presidential election. Let's not just say because it was a general election. An election is an election. And those were elections that affected us indirectly. The people wanted change. So they went out, they voted for Biden. You saw the lines just as well as I did. But it just goes to show you that the people have no faith and no confidence in those local elections because, you pick a side of town, you don't see no change. You still ride up and down South Court Street, it's like a roller coaster. You don't see change. The neighborhoods, like Ms. Fan was just saying, in other neighborhoods, you pick a side of town, there's, abandoned houses. The crime rate is just ridiculous. You don't see your city councilmen for the most part until it's time for another election, or your county commissioners. And it's just sad. It's not voter apathy because they're not sick of voting. They're just not voting for people that they don't see no change in. And instead of going out and voting for somebody different, they just remove themselves from the voting process altogether. Numbers don't lie. And you guys may not ever accept it, and you don't have to. The next election, which is that state house election, I guarantee you're not going to even get 20% to the polls. You know that. We just had a District 26 election to fill the Burkett seat. You had 3 or 4 people that ran that had either held office or were in office. And look at what the numbers that came to the polls. That's embarrassing. So that should tell you something. People don't have faith in their in these local elections.
Well, the local election affect our lives far greater than the presidential election.
I'm with you, amen. But when people like me and you can get a folding chair and go sit in this city, in this county, and you don't see change, what can you say that will motivate you to go vote right now? City council, you talked about running because why? You didn't see change, right?
Well, I didn't see. To me, I think sometimes we need to fight for what we want rather than just sit there. Well, I didn't see the fight in people that I would like.
If not only that, see, county commissioners right now, you got one that, well, I ain't gonna even call him right now. I'm gonna give him some time, but you don't even, the average person that voted for him don't even know what they're doing. I asked a question one time and it made people mad. And I know he's dead and gone, but it is what it is. I said, hey, Alvin Holmes set up in that office 40 plus years. What did he do in his last 3 terms? People giggle, well, he was fighting. I said, what did he fight about? They couldn't tell me. And then when I kept pressuring them, they got frustrated because what they were doing was just going and giving a vote to somebody and wouldn't get nothing in return.
Well, a lot of them don't know. A lot of them don't know. But I tell you though, I think that is part of half of that problem are the people that are in office because they don't make it known. They don't make it known. They don't motivate people. Right. No, he's in the community. Yeah, yeah. He is out there in that community. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But Commissioner Singleton though he gets with us too. I mean he'll. Oh yeah, man. I forgot. Wait a minute. No, nobody can do what now? Uh, then matter of fact, I haven't heard from Tashina Morris in a while. No, and Facebook's fine, but if you have, I, I think no, no, but people, the problem with Facebook is that you have to have a Facebook account. Where on radio you get to talk to people for free. You don't need a computer. You don't need none of that stuff. You just turn on the radio. Hey, I believe in modern technology. I believe in it. Well, both sometimes. Well, I mean, take. Okay, okay. Yeah, but I think, but I believe if your only avenue of communication is Facebook, you're missing a hell of a lot of people. And you got to sit in front of a TV in order to see it. With radio, you can work. Yeah, right. Okay. Hmm. Well, if you right, but listen, if you just begging them on Facebook, you ain't talking to a whole lot of people. Uh, Whoa, watch out now. Wait a minute, hold. Wait a minute. Yeah, yeah. Well, but I know, but I got to tell you, I forgot all about the Sheila Moore. I forgot she was down there because you're on Facebook a lot. I'm not. I mean, right. Listen, radio is still the best way of communication with your audience in any city. It's still the best way to do it. Yeah, yeah. Well, but here's what I'm going to say, and again, and I don't know if you're willing to admit it, but there are lots of things that actually go on that we don't know about, and that bothers me. It's not. You see, the problem is we don't know a lot of things because they, but they do. Legislation making that sausage is ugly. It's really ugly. Yeah, and well, that he did, but. Just because you're arguing, but although just because you're arguing doesn't necessarily mean, yeah. All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, appreciate it. I gotta run and take a break, but again, the sausage is ugly being made down there. I don't know what they're doing. That, in fact, is part of the problem. That's why they need to come out more and talk to people so we know. Don't come to me after the fight has been lost. And that's one of the things our black representatives do. They come to you after they already lost the battle. That's my own impression. We need to be part of the fight, not a bystander. Anna. Let's take a break. We'll be back at 7:30. We'll be right. I want you so I'm ready to go through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
FA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Identity thieves love tax forms with personal info needed to steal your identity. That's why LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Mostly cloudy morning here on this Wednesday, but by the afternoon there's a good deal of sunshine and it is unseasonably warm, up in the mid and upper 80s with, again, a good deal of sun. Wind will be under 10 miles an hour. The humidity will be slightly noticeable but not oppressive. Tonight we're down into the 60s before warming back up into the mid and upper 80s with more clouds than sun for Thursday, but still dry. A chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm late Thursday night into the day Friday. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. Still no major problems or accidents are being reported by the authorities to send anyone on an alternate route. Interstate system's moving smoothly. You keep listening, we'll keep you posted. Reinhardt Collision Center is looking for an auto body technician to keep up with demand. To apply, call 213-1216, 213-1216, and become a part of the team. Reinhardt Toyota Lexus. Buckle up, it's the law, and be careful. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's Knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's Knows.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car? Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed. So no call for me.
Oh, man. That's why I got me an extended service plan. That way, that blown engine would have cost you nothing to repair.
Hold up. You're saying if I had gotten that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from $19.99 or higher, call 800-263-0757 right now to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-263-0757 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Call 800-263-0757 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-263-0757. That's 800-263-0757.
If there's a sudden disaster, you can't get to the grocery store, or they're all out of food, what would you do? You'll wish you had emergency food to get you through the crisis. And that's why we're here. We're MyPatriotSupply.com, America's leading source of emergency food. Our food lasts for up to 25 years, and millions of families trust us for their disaster survival. Won't you join us? Unlike other food companies, we don't skimp on calories. Our meals give you more than 2,000 calories per day. Why? Because that's what you need to survive any challenging crisis. And right now, you can save $200 on our popular 3-month emergency food kit. Just go to MyPatriotSupply.com and place your order. We ship fast, 2 to 3 days max. And your food arrives discreetly right to your door. So order today and save $200 at MyPatriotSupply.com. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
My wife and I enjoyed a wonderful dinner last week with friends we hadn't seen in a long time. The next day, we received a handwritten note which they delivered to our mailbox, letting us know how much they had enjoyed our dinner together, along with an article that we had discussed. You know, in today's high-tech, low-touch world, it's refreshing to get a thoughtful handwritten note once in a while. It's enough to inspire me to get started. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
Hi, I'm Dr. Lonray Pelusi with today's Tip for Kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Getting ready for a new baby is a busy time. An important decision is how you will feed your baby. Breastfeeding will give your baby the best start in life. Breast milk is easy to digest and it has all the nutrients your baby needs. Breast milk protects babies from diseases and infections, and the close physical contact creates a special bond. If you have questions about breastfeeding, talk with your pediatrician and visit healthychildren.org.
The Rush Limbaugh Show. And these people look absolutely pathetic. After Rick and Bubba, it's the EIB Network at 11 a.m. And it's only on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
And we are back. Let's go to the phone, see who is there. Good morning. Who's this? Yes, I'm doing fine. That's a matter of fact, they told me you're going to give me a call today. So what's up? What is the Alabama Youth Ranches?
Group home living situation that was started by the sheriffs in 1966 to help abandoned and abused and neglected children throughout the state of Alabama.
Mm-hmm. And so what, you guys got an event coming up here real soon?
The Reinhardt Lexus Children's Charity Classic is next Friday. I'm sorry. It's next Thursday, May the 6th at Arrowhead Country Club in Montgomery, Alabama.
Okay, and the purpose of this is to how many kids and what is the male versus female inventory over there? How many kids you guys look out after?
We have 41 kids throughout the state that call our ranches home, right? Plus we take care of the house parents. We have another 12 kids that we take care of that are the house parents' children, because when house parents come work for us, their children are raised just like the other children that we have on the ranches. And right now we have 11 boys and we have 30 girls that we're taking care of throughout the state of Alabama.
That's a lot of chillins. Mm-hmm. Now, do most of these young people come from, shall we call, adverse situations at home, or their parents abandoned them? How do they get in contact with you guys?
That's a great question. We have 70% of our children that we have now are from private placements. Give you an example, through the pandemic here that we've had over the past year, which has been so tough on charitable organizations. Through this pandemic, we've taken in 14 children from failed adoptions that the parents just couldn't either have the ability to take care of the children, or they just realized they may have made a mistake as far as adopting children. So now they call our ranches home.
Wow, that's got to be kind of traumatic for the kids anyway. Although I thought about adoption, but I didn't think very long. You get all the problems that come with that child in your home. I'm glad you guys are there, but there's something about a ranch. There's something about nature that calms people. And I assume, did they get to ride horses and things of that nature? Right. Right. Wow. There's two things I haven't been on. I've been on just about everything else, from aircraft carriers to ships and stuff and planes, but I've never been on a horse or a motorcycle. And I look at them both the same. I got, Yeah.
Well, I sold my 2 motorcycles, but we could get you on a horse. I can promise.
I don't know. Their horse is kind of big, man. But then I found out they don't really eat meat, so you don't have to worry about them biting you, I guess. Yeah. But anyway.
I promised to myself I didn't want to mess with anything bigger than me that's actually breathing. And then I got around these ranches. I've been CEO now for 14 months and got around these ranches, and I've been around the horses. And to me, a horse is like a huge pet dog because they're so friendly, they're so smart, and such great therapy for our children. You're very wise to say that. It is very therapeutic.
Okay, so how do people help you? How do they get in contact with you guys? Do they want to donate, or is there a number where people can call you? Wow. Okay. Now, do you work with Sheriff Cunningham? I know he does a few things around here. Hmm. No, no, I didn't know that. No. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right, right. Okay, so that number is 213-2071, and if people can call and get help. Now, do you have a facility in Montgomery? Okay, 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 okay. And again, but they can start the process by calling 213-2071. Okay. Great. That's a number. Yeah, that's the number I need. Yeah. Well, Michael, appreciate coming on and talking to us about it. Hopefully, this did some good, and we will we'll continue. Call us anytime if you need something, and we'll see. We get the word out. I can't guarantee much, but I can tell people listen. And if you're going to talk to an audience, a talk radio audience is the best audience to talk to. All right, my friend, appreciate it. Let's take a break. We'll come back, take your calls, comments right after this.
Alert weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Identity thieves love tax forms with personal info needed to steal your identity. That's why LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Mostly cloudy morning here on this Wednesday, but by the afternoon there's a good deal of sunshine and it is unseasonably warm up in the mid and upper 80s with, again, a good deal of sun. Wind will be under 10 miles an hour. The humidity will be slightly noticeable, but not oppressive. Tonight, we're down into the 60s before warming back up into the mid and upper 80s with more clouds than sun for Thursday, but still dry. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm late Thursday night into the day Friday.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. The good news continues on this Wednesday, hump day. No major problems or accidents have been reported yet to send anyone on an alternate route. And keeping eyes on the traffic flow map here in the Tri-County area. No big slowdowns or reasons for an alternate route. That's always good news. Keep listening. We'll keep you posted. 567-9000, that's the number to call. MCS for an equity loan on your home, land, or auto. Good credit, slow credit, it doesn't matter. MCS in Wetumpka, NMLS 232876. Buckle up, front and back, it's the law, and be careful. For Montgomery Skywatch traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's Knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's Knows.
This is Cokie Moore from American Oak and More. This is your special invitation to our 27th annual anniversary sale going on now. For a limited time, everything in American Oak and Moore's inventory, catalog, and special orders is 50% off the top site price. That's right, half off. Living room, dining room, bedroom, home office, and outdoor. Interest-free financing available. Hurry, sale ends soon. Mattress, accessories, and cozy excluded.
I live in Sanford for 25 years.
You don't pay the bank money to also pay for it. Good morning, Alabama.
How'd you
Good morning, Alabama.
Purchase a new mattress from Wolf Boys Bedding, where we don't want to just sell you a mattress. We want to teach you how to buy the right mattress to improve your life. Shop the Better Sleep Sale going on now at Wolf Boys Bedding with queen mattress sets for $4.99. Twin as low as $99, and Alabama-made bunk beds for $2.99. Plus, for a limited time, receive up to $1,000 off on qualifying Jameson mattress set. Interest-free financing available. Don't count sheep. Get a good night's sleep from Wolf Boys Bedding next to American Oak and More.
Depression is a daily battle, but there is a new weapon to help you fight depression: transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS. TMS is an innovative FDA-approved therapy for patients with severe depression. It's neurotransmitters. Find out if TMS is right for you. Contact IBH of Montgomery at 256-975-4162 or log on ibhus.com.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prostagenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prostagenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prostagenics, call now, 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
The Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches is hosting a children's charity golf tournament on May 6th at Arrowhead Country Club. The Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranch is a 501c3 charity founded by the Sheriffs of Alabama in 1966. They provide long-term, loving homes for abandoned, abused, and neglected boys and girls across the state of Alabama. For more information on the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranch or the golf tournament, call the office at 334-213-2071.
Texting enrolls you in a reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more round.
You got this. And there it is. Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The Big Hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. The
Big Hurt.
Which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text TIGER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text TIGER to 42424. That's TIGER to 42424.
Many of the locally owned and operated restaurants you love are staying open to serve you during this difficult time. To find a list of these restaurants, visit newsradio1440.com. Eat local and help our local businesses stay open.
Anyway, good morning, John. Let's go back to phone. Somebody's been waiting there forever, so let me get to them right quick. Good morning. Who's this? Hello. Pretty good. Thanks for holding. I know, brother, but I got you now.
Councilman race and all that stuff. Those guys District 3 over, I lived there for 20 years. And the last time somebody really did something over there was when Reed was over there. I know Tracy Locker, he gone, but he wasn't doing a lot.
Here's my question. One city council person doesn't really have the ability to do a whole lot unless they can create a consensus between all the city council people. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, everybody has their opinion, and that's yours. Yeah. All right. Thanks. Good morning. Who's this? I am fine. Ed, can we move on to something else? Okay, and that's right, but they ain't got. And my statement at the time was philosophical, not literal. I know. Mm. I guess, Ed, you need a phone. Because you need a telephone, man. I mean, because nobody can hardly hear what you're saying. So I'm just telling. I've been telling you that for a long time. You need a telephone. Okay. Well, listen. If you don't believe it, then I can't help that. You need a telephone. Okay. It's got nothing. Wait a minute. It's got nothing to do with whether I like it and don't like it. But if you're going to say it, let somebody hear it. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. If you think that's what it is, let me take my last call. If you think that's what it is. Good morning. Pretty good. There is no such thing as white philosophy. I just what I said was my position has always been philosophical when it comes to ideology. Now, my folks think that ideology has something to do with color. I just happen to be more in line with the conservative philosophy as far as life lessons. Well, I didn't say white work. I said but the majority of conservatives who state that they are conservative are white and not black. That state there are a lot of conservative black people, but they don't say it because they're afraid of getting harassed, losing their jobs. I mean, listen, it is what it is. Oh, man. I tell you what, you wait. You call me back. I gotta go. You call me back in a couple minutes. We're gonna talk about your compassion. Okay, we're gonna talk about your compassion in a moment. Oh man, that hit me right here. Anyway, I gotta take a break. Let me see. Get rid of this. All right, we'll be back. And I hope he calls me back so we can get to this compassion thing that the Democrats are compassionate. Democrats are compassionate. Well, I guess Biden is compassionate because he said he's gonna make sure we get more food stamps. Okay. I guess that's compassion. Anyway, we'll be back. Uno momento. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 momento.
12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News. The federal government says fully vaccinated people can gather safely outdoors now without wearing masks, but in small groups. President Joe Biden made that announcement outside the White House Tuesday. The CDC still recommends everyone mask up inside. Virus cases are trending down nationwide. Biden has targeted July 4th as a return to normal. Leaders across Alabama are responding to the census results, saying this is a good thing for Alabama. The state population climbed from 4.8 million in 2010 to 5.03 million in 2020, enough to keep the state from losing in representation in Congress. The Census Bureau will release more detailed data on counties and cities in August. And the Montgomery City Council's newest member has been determined from Tuesday's election. After being forced into a runoff from last month's vote, Marsha Johnson will be the new District 3 councilwoman. She beat Adrian Larkin with about 60% of the vote. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM Montgomery, a Cumulus station, also heard on.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. President Biden is ready to outline his $1.8 trillion spending proposal in his first speech to a joint session of Congress. Spokeswoman Jen Psaki tells CBS this morning,
for the first time, people will get to sit in.
And this is Jen Psaki.
This is a really bold proposal, the American Families Plan.
Correspondent Weijia Jiang is at the White House.
The administration said it would save the
average family $13,000 and offer free preschool for all 3 and 4-year-olds, along with 2 free years of community college for all.
The CDC's given the green light for fully vaccinated people to unmask outdoors, but one Florida community is holding off. Correspondent Peter King from Orlando.
Suburban Seminole County is keeping its mask mandate.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Nay. It passes 3-2.
This despite dozens of people who spoke out against it at a county commission meeting. Commissioners say the mandate will disappear when 50% of the eligible population is vaccinated and when the county has seen 30 straight days of declining case rates. Here in Orange County, the mayor plans to loosen up mask rules, he says, to match the new CDC guidelines.
We're hearing from one of the 12 jurors who voted to convict ex-police officer Derek Chauvin of murdering George Floyd. Juror Brandon Mitchell tells CBS this morning it was a difficult 3 weeks.
We're just stressed about this. Every day we had to come on, Greg. That alone is stressful.
Yes.
Coming in each and every day, and having to watch somebody die is
in the
stressful.
glass house of
Officials in
technology.
Alameda, California have released body cam video that shows
may be
police
right about
pinning
that.
down 26-year-old Mario Gonzalez for more than 5 minutes before he was pronounced dead at a hospital. The footage shows Gonzalez face down with officers' knees or elbows on his neck and back.
Man,
They
we
claim
gotta
he
cut
suffered a
that out.
medical emergency when they were trying to handcuff him after they found him drunk in a park. Mothers and fathers may have looser rules for kids who look more mature. CBS's Nancy Chen.
New research at Penn State suggests parents of children who experience early puberty are more lenient when it comes to letting them drink alcohol. Experts caution that even if teens appear older, parents should make rules and structure that match their age and maturity.
Latte, cappuccino, decaf. Study of more than 390,000 people from the University of South Australia finds your preference probably depends on how healthy you are. People with high blood pressure are more likely to go for decaf or avoid coffee altogether. Those without tend to go for full caf. This is CBS News.
CBS News Radio is your home for breaking news. With our team of reporters around the country and the world, we give you the coverage you can trust.
What I know about courage, I learned from my adoptive mom. She said sometimes you just gotta hold on and know we'll get through this. Mom, we are so high up. Hold my hand.
No, you hold my hand.
Here we go.
By those to ensure that Black voices would be heard in government.
What we know, Senior Chief Kelly is the 3rd member of the Special Operations Unit to be attacked.
They better hope he doesn't survive.
They crossed the line. My wife, my family, they brought that war in my house.
I know right now she is up in heaven smiling she's also a woman who lived through the terribleness of sit-ins.
For thinking that Black people can't get an ID. Watch this incredible clip. Mark Robinson, North Carolina, Lieutenant Governor.
In LA.
For the first time, people will get to sit inside the newly built $5 billion SoFi Stadium for Vax Live, the concert to reunite the world. The stadium was set to open, then the pandemic happened. Vax Live will now feature a ton of performances, J-Lo, the Foo Fighters, J Balvin, and celebrities from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle to President Biden and Vice President Harris. It's all to raise money for Global Citizen, which will help get COVID vaccines to poor countries. Everyone in the stands will be fully vaccinated healthcare and essential workers. Monica Ricks, CBS News.
After 80 years, a critical blemish for a classic movie.
Don't worry about me. I'm Charles Foster Kane.
Rotten Tomatoes has dug up a single negative review of Orson Welles' 1941 masterpiece Citizen Kane. The update leaves Paddington 2 the only movie with a 100% fresh review. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Money. The 25K Workday Payday. It's all about money. It's your national keyword to win $100. Text CHANGE, CHANGE, CHANGE to 95819. Standard messaging rates apply. Don't text and drive. We'll text back to confirm your entry. If you win, you'll be entered to win a grand prize of $25,000. It's the 25K Workday Payday on News Radio 1440.
And welcome in, welcome in, welcome in again. Oh, good. All right then. I ain't on air yet. That's good. Okay, good. Good.
It's time to remind people how important it is to keep the or dad treats things like tendinitis and bunions. If a person is diabetic, it's important to have a foot exam by a podiatrist. Call today for an appointment at 265-7585. Happy feet start here.
No representation is made as to the quality of podiatric services to be performed or as to the expertise of podiatrists performing such services.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Keeley, and as a podiatrist, it is my job to identify small problems in your feet and help prevent them from becoming big problems. New government regulations allow for an annual diabetic foot exam to cut down on the number of amputations and control the cost of health care. So call me, Dr. Brian Keeley, at 265-7585. That's 265-7585. Locations in Montgomery and Greenville. Follow us on Facebook at Greenville Foot Care. Happy feet start here.
No representation is made as to the quality of podiatric services to be performed or as to the expertise of podiatrists performing such services.
Hey, this is Randy and Tammy Burkhalter at Travel Farm Center.
Hey, Randy, tell me about those hot chicks I've been hearing about.
Now, Tammy, I don't know any since we got married.
No, Randy, the baby chick.
Oh, yeah, we're getting Rhode Island Reds, Americanas, Buff Orpingtons, and about 6 other different varieties.
Plus ducks, turkeys, geese, and guineas.
Hey, and raising chickens is a great family project.
And you get to look forward to fresh eggs.
Visit Prideville Farm Center at 1154 South Memorial Drive and pick up your hot chicks today.
Mother's Day is almost here, and it's time for you to come up with a great gift. Jenny Lynn's Creations has just what you need. There's the simple elegance of roses, or a basket of fresh cut flowers. What about a beautiful green plant decorated for Mother's Day that will live to remind her of how special you think she is? Jenny Lynn's Creations is a full-service florist that delivers throughout the Tri-County area, and wire services are also available. Don't wait until the last minute. Call Jenny Lynn's today at 567-3325.
Paid for by Protect My Car. Restrictions may apply. Plans and costs for coverage may vary. Call for details.
Yo, where's your car? Man, my engine blew, and I can't afford to get it fixed, so no call for me.
Oh, man, that's why I got me an extended service plan. That way, that blown engine would have cost you nothing to repair.
Hold up. You're saying if I had gotten that plan before my engine blew, I could have got it fixed and paid nothing?
You got that right. Drivers covered by Protect My Car will not have to pay for any covered repair bill ever again.
Man, I really should have called and got my car covered before this huge repair bill hit.
If you own a car, truck, or SUV made from $19.99 or higher, call 800-263-0757 right now to see if your car qualifies. All repairs for your engine, transmission, and much more can become a thing of the past. Just call 800-263-0757 and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Call 800-263-0757 right now. Call now to find out how you pay nothing for auto repairs. Call 800-263-0757. That's 800-263-0757.
They are the two sexiest fat men alive. Pretty fun. And you can hear Rick and Bubba on News Radio 1440, beginning at 9 a.m. Depend.
Okay, I got something I want you guys to hear. This is from the Honorable Mark Robinson, who is the newly elected Lieutenant Governor of the state of North Carolina. Now, it's almost as if he's been listening to me, which is not unusual. There are people across America that do listen to me periodically. And I think somewhere in his office, somebody said, you need to listen to this guy on the air down in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay, and since I used to be a North Carolinian back in the day when I was stationed at Fort Bragg, and I lived in Durham, and I lived in Wilson, North Carolina. So, I know a little bit about North Carolina. No, we call it North Kakalaki. Okay. But listen to this guy, and we're going to talk about some Democratic compassion. But listen to this, and let's get your thoughts on this. And this is what I have against the Democratic Party up in Washington, D.C. He explains it well. I'm telling you, this guy has been listening to me. Okay. Maybe I should run for Lieutenant Governor of Alabama or something like that. But let me see if I can get this. Okay. And 3, 2, 1, go.
Of North Carolina. I hail from Greensboro, home of the Woolworth sit-ins, an epicenter of the civil rights movement. I grew up poor as the 9th of 10 children in a home marred by alcoholism. But I had a mother who was a strong woman of faith, and she sustained us. She was also a woman who lived through the terribleness of Jim Crow and witnessed firsthand the sacrifices made by those to ensure that Black voices would be heard in government.
It might look like a simple.
Okay, yeah, I'll get back to that in a second. But anyway, he's a lieutenant governor. He's in front of the Democrats in Congress, explaining to them why their efforts to make everything race wrong. All right.
Stated in this committee hearing. Today, I'm not here to talk about myself. I'm here to talk about voter discrimination and election integrity. The subject of this hearing is the evolving landscape of voter discrimination, and it certainly has throughout our nation's history. Let me say that I am very proud of the history in this nation of my people. My people were put in the belly of ships, bound in chains, and endured the Middle Passage. My people were whipped, beaten, and sold as property during slavery. During Reconstruction and throughout Jim Crow, Black people were intimidated, harassed, and even killed to keep them from having a voice in government. Symbols like chains, nooses, and burnt crosses are not just symbols of death, they are symbols of forced and coerced silence. The sacrifices of our ancestors, so I could have the opportunity to become the first Black lieutenant governor of my state, see a Black man sit in the White House for 2 terms, and for millions of us to be leaders in business, athletics, government, and culture, add up to an incredible story of victory. Today, we hear Georgia law being compared to Jim Crow. The Black voices are being silenced, and the Black voices are being kept out. How? By bullets? By bombs? By nooses? No, by requiring a free ID to secure the vote. Let me say that again, by requiring a free ID to secure the vote. How absolutely preposterous. Am I to believe that Black Americans who have overcome the atrocities of slavery, who were victorious in the civil rights movement, and now sit in the highest levels of this government cannot figure out how to get a free ID to secure their votes? That they need to be coddled by politicians because they don't think we can figure out how to make our voices heard. Are you kidding me? The notion that Black people must be protected from a free ID to secure their votes is not just insane, it is insulting. Just a few days ago, and let me tell you something about this. This doesn't have anything to do with justice. This has everything to do with power. Just a few days ago, the vice president went to the very place that I mentioned, the Woolworth counter in Greensboro. But you know who wasn't there? You know who wasn't invited? My good friend Clarence Henderson, who is a civil rights icon. He sat at that counter and endured the suffering and pain to make sure that Black voices were heard. And why was he left out? Because he's of a different political persuasion. You might ask why this is so, and I'll tell you plainly. The goal of some individuals in government is not to hear the voices of Black Americans at all. It's to hear the voices that fit their narratives and ultimately help keep power with one group. And that's what this is all about. It's about power. Just look at H.R. 1. It's despicable. The entire thing is designed to keep one party in power and ensure they stay there indefinitely. How do they plan to do that? By taking away the rights of states given by the Constitution to govern their own elections, to mandate a wish list, a partisan wish list that comes down from that federal government. Some of these items include using government dollars to fund campaigns in order to give an advantage to one party, mandating that felons are allowed to vote, including illegal immigrants on voter rolls, and of course, trying to ban states from having voter ID. The last thing I'll say is this. Many people know that I'm a strong proponent of the Second Amendment, and I always will be. I believe that the right to keep and bear arms should always be available to law-abiding citizens. But the first line of defense in maintaining the integrity of the Second Amendment is having an ID to show and requiring that ID when you purchase that firearm. In the same way, I believe that voter ID is our first line of defense for protecting the integrity of the right to vote. And that's what this should be about. It should be about integrity, not power. Thank you.
Anyway, so I thought that was absolute. He must have been listening to me. Some places must be listening to me. He absolutely right. Let's take a break and we'll come back with all your calls and comments. It is insulting to say that a group of people are too dumb to get an ID. We are incapable of finding our way from our porch to the bus stop to our car in order to go get a free ID. It is insulting. He said it better than I could. Don't forget, we have a 25K giveaway starting at 8 o'clock today till 5 o'clock. You can enter to win it at go to our website, News Radio 1440, or we're giving away $100 every hour from 8 o'clock until 5 p.m. Every winner will also get a chance of winning $25,000. Now, text the national word change, CHANGE, to 95819, 95819 for your chance to win. We'll be back right after this. That was the Honorable Mark Robinson, who is the new Lieutenant Governor of the state of North Carolina. We'll be back. Okay.
.com. Hey, y'all, Lewis, Capital Oyster Bar, and we're right down here on that beautiful Alabama River. Let's talk about the river. Let's talk about you can come down here and rent you a pontoon boat. All you need is a driver's license and a credit card. Maybe a couple of friends or family to bring with you. Let's talk about some more fun on the river. Sunday afternoon at 5 o'clock from Louisiana. Big Al and the Heavyweights, that's right. We'll bring you some good old Louisiana blues. Check it all out, CapitalOysterBar.com. You see a menu, a map, everything you need to know. Good times on the river. Come on hungry, and we'll see you soon.
He is the voice of the conservative millennials.
The president is going to have to stand fast.
The Ben Shapiro Show.
They're not going to be willing to keep the government shut down.
Today at 3 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Stuff fall through the cracks of your broken heart.
Okay. I finally have the right analogy for all of this. I have the right analogy. Okay. I think you guys will agree with me. Okay. But I got it. I finally figured out what's wrong. Okay. Maybe Biden should call me and I should be on the Committee for Harmony in America. Yeah. Because I have figured it out. Okay. I'm just saying I got it. I figured it out. I'll let you know about it in a few minutes. Good morning. Who's this? Fine, fine. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Didn't they have to rerun an election in his state because Republicans were taking ballots from elderly black people, harvesting them and tossing them? Didn't they have to rerun? Isn't that documented with evidence that they had? And he didn't say anything about his own party and his own state.
Well, yeah, I don't believe that just because the formula is right doesn't make the formulators perfect people, and they got crooks in every party, the Republican Party as well as but it's right. But here's the problem: there's a philosophical foundation in that Democratic Party that tells us, yeah, you got cancer and it may be getting healed, but until it's totally healed, we can't say that you're doing better. And the bottom line is this: America is not the same place it used to be years ago. It's just not. It's not. Now we got black people and white people are racist, both. Okay, and they all have their own reasoning for thinking the way they do, and that's fine. But it is intellectually dishonest to try to make all black people in America think that every white person you meet is a racist and I think that's what he's saying. We are never going to get rid of. Listen, there was crime in heaven. God had to put the devil out. So we certainly are down here on earth are not going to live in a panacea in a perfect world. Well, now let me ask you, my friend. Right, but let me tell you something. The Democrats don't ever bring up anything about the crap they do. Right, and I hear you, and I didn't know anything about. Right, I don't know anything about whether they were harvesting ballots in North Carolina. Okay, I mean, I'm gonna take your word for it because it's not that important to me. But to say that black people cannot get an ID that's free, and to say somehow requiring an identification to secure your vote is somehow tantamount to racism or to taking your vote away, it's an insulting to me and everybody else that came before me that fought for these rights. Again, if nobody's showing up to vote, why keep it open? Oh, you talking about Department of Motor Vehicles? Well, I don't know how many they closed, but yesterday we had three. Wait a minute. Yesterday we had a bunch of places open. We only had 874 people get out and vote yesterday. Listen. There's a pragmatism here that has to be involved here. But you see, you are right, but you're insulting us again. If somebody said we're gonna give free chicken away at Church's Chicken, but you need an ID, people will go get an ID no matter how far it was and come back and get that bird. I don't. And we've always had people in certain areas and don't have cars. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute. The state of Alabama has a van right now. They'll come to you and make your ID. But wait. Well, they'll come make the ID, but let me ask you something. Now, wait a minute. You got Piggly Wiggly, you got Piggly Wiggly, you got all these stores, and they send you food stamps. Now, are we supposed to send you transportation to get to the store to get the groceries? Your family should do it. Their family should go out and get them and have it done. The government can't do everything. Right. Uh, uh, right. But the government's not responsible for where you choose to live. Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that if you live in Hayneville, you live in Otagoville, you live in those places down there, they're not going to bring the light company, the place where you pay your light bill, closer to you because you happen to, and I would imagine, right? But you got, right? Okay. Yeah, I guess you can. But there are many places where you cannot do that, where you have to go in person to do certain things, no matter where it's at. Wait a minute. I'm gonna go. Let's right. But I'm gonna go along with what he said. All the things that black folks been through, are we really gonna whine about having to go someplace to get an ID? Okay. All right. Okay. Well, he probably didn't address a lot of things that happened in North Carolina, and I agree with, and that's probably so. But the basic premise of his whole thing was, we are resilient people. We can meet the task ahead of us. Okay, we have to stop making. And the Democratic Party, like you said, one of the guys that sit down that sat at that Goldsboro place in Greensboro, in Greensboro. They didn't invite him because he didn't think the way that Democrats thought he should think. Exactly. So so it ain't about color with Democrats. It's about philosophy. And if you don't think like your president said, yeah, not as bad as the Democrats, brother. No, not as bad as the Democrats. Hey, but listen. I gotta run, but it's been great talking to you for a break. Good morning. Well, yeah, but the Secretary of State John Merrill, the state would go out. Yeah. Well, I don't know. He made it. He mentioned it here one day. He was on the air with us and told us. Yeah. Well, I'm with you. Uh, all right. Take one more call. Take a break. Good morning on there. Yes. What? What do you actually? I don't know how many people in America understand. You don't have a right to vote. I mean, nobody does. Nobody does. Listen, it was tough. It really was. Right. Well, which impediment are you talking about? There have been many. I mean, they tried to make you count the bubbles in a bar of soap and beans, but that's because men. That's because men are evil. But nobody has a right to vote, right? No, 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 no. They passed a law that your vote cannot be impeded. Yeah, because nobody has a right to vote. Well, you had people who didn't want black people to vote. Hmm. Well, the states are the ones who not the states are the ones who decide by constitution how the voting process is going to happen in your state. Well, we know how they did it, but again, just because we got a great document, don't mean we have perfect people. People are evil. Well, now the Constitution is great. Right. Exactly. The Constitution itself is a great document, but the people who wrote it and the people who are supposed to make sure that we are secured the rights that it's given us are not perfect people. Hmm. Well, let me. Okay, so let me ask you a question here, then, real quickly. You don't. Do you believe that the Democratic Party is genuinely the National Democratic Party is genuinely concerned about black people? So why didn't they invite the man who sat at the sit-in, put his life on the line? Why wasn't he invited to the commemoration, but they disinvited him because he believed in the Republican Party philosophy? If it's about black people, Democrats. It was Democrats. It was Democrats that didn't want to. It was Democrats that disinvited him because he didn't think the way that they thought he should be thinking. I think in Washington D.C., I think John Lewis wielded a big stick. Well, I don't know about John Lewis. Listen, John Lewis. Yeah, But John, but no, brother, no. That, you know what? The Democrats give me hell around here because I don't think the way Democrats think. Yeah. Right. Right. But right. But until right. But until we and until the Democratic Party and America has some intellectual honesty about it's not about color. It is about philosophy. It is about what people believe that matters more than that color. And I'm with you, and I've told them that too. Don't be telling me that meet you at the country club. You need to come over here to Joe's again or Pearson Country Cooking, and let's sit down and talk over real plate. Uh, well, I don't know. And listen, I gotta take my last break out. We'll be right back after this. It's about philosophy. It's about people think because even Democrats don't like, even black Democrats don't like black people who don't think the way they do. That's where they like to use that stupid word, Uncle Tom. Uncle Tom was a pretty good guy, actually, though. Well, we'll be back.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Get a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters, especially when it comes to checking for fever. Exergen's accuracy is backed by published peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at exergen.com.
Mostly cloudy morning here on this Wednesday, but by the afternoon there's a good deal of sunshine and it is unseasonably warm, up in the mid and upper 80s with, again, a good deal of sun. Wind will be under 10 miles an hour. The humidity will be slightly noticeable, but not oppressive. Tonight, we're down into the 60s before warming back up into the mid and upper 80s with more clouds than sun for Thursday, but still dry. Chance of showers, maybe a thunderstorm late Thursday night into the day Friday.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. We've got our first accident reported in Prattville, Jensen Road at Highway 82 East. There's a car versus 18-wheeler. So watch out for this one. In Prattville on Jensen Road at Highway 82 East. From a simple patient transport to life and death situations, Haynes Ambulance is there for you both on the ground and in the air. Haynes Ambulance, ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
For all your collision repairs, Chico's Knows. Located on Atlanta Highway just minutes from the Eastern Bypass. Call Chico's Auto Pros today at 239-9510. Chico's Knows.
It's a different year. You need to reach your potential customers, and your customers need to be able to find you. Let Cumulus Media help. We've built a unique opportunity for you to connect your business with River Region homeowners that are looking for your products and services. Radio, digital, and lead generation for your business, helping you reach hundreds of thousands of people in this area. You need to talk to Cumulus Media. Call Don Polno at 334-240-2257. That's 334-240-2257.
Want to know what I like best about high school sports? I love watching my son run on the field. I love seeing him smile when he high-fives his teammates. I love seeing his eyes light up when his team scores a goal. I love the fact that since he's been playing high school sports, he's making better decisions. And I love knowing that high school sports have never been safer. Why? Because coaches have more information than I've ever had. Training techniques are more sophisticated, and equipment has never been more advanced. Playing high school sports isn't just safe. It's still the best way to give your teenager a healthy head start in life. And that's something I really love.
This message about the value of high school sports is presented by
the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
Hey, is that a faucet running? Nope, that's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. It is? Yeah, forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. The water comes straight from the forest to us. In fact. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe. How do trees clean the air? They soak up the dirty air on their leaves, branches, and trunks, which means clean air for us. Cool. I didn't know that. Yep. But the forest does more than give us clean air and water. It gives us shade for hot days, birds to listen to, and trees to climb.
Wow, that's awesome. I didn't know how cool the forest could be. Hey, let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. I'm Vicki Gunvalson. You probably know me as the OG VOC.
Very special guest, Vicki Gunvalson.
Believe me, I'm a lot more than just a real housewife.
Well, they shouldn't have tickets. They shouldn't have tickets.
Very own podcast. It's called
Pay your ticket.
And I'm talking about my life as a real housewife.
Come on,
in front
man.
of the camera and behind the scenes.
Take some responsibility.
So you don't miss a thing.
From the Westwood one.
Pay your traffic tickets and you can get an ID. Give me a break. Want me to fish for you? Catch the fish, cook the fish, and help you eat the fish. Come on, man.
On News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
All right, I got another Democrat on my Facebook page that's saying, what about people with tickets that can't get an ID? Pay your tickets. My Lord. All right, good morning. Who's this? Fine.
Now, you had a caller right before the break talking about needing an amendment for black people to vote. I would encourage him just to do a 5-minute Google search on the history, the founding of this country, and he will understand that not even all white people were allowed to vote when this nation was created.
Right, you had to be a property owner and stuff like that. Yeah.
Also understand that it wasn't until fairly recent, I say within the past 100 years, that citizens were allowed to vote for a senator. Up until that time,
they were appointed. Right. Mm-hmm. And we really are a young nation. Right. We're a young nation.
Except to the Chinese, that 5,000-year-old devil.
But I would tell you this now. And some may disagree. If the United States didn't hang their hat on Christianity, there are a lot of things they wouldn't owe anybody. You know.
And everybody loves to bash Christianity, but if it was not for Christianity, slavery would not.
It wouldn't, and I mean, it'd been a hell of a lot worse. So I would say that thank God for Christianity, because had it not been for that, because really they don't owe you a fair shot. They don't. To the victor go the spoils.
Meant for anything in my life.
Well, I have. Well, you do depend on, right? But you do depend on for that road in front of your house. Now, you know. Yeah.
No. If you're waiting for the government to do anything for you, you're going to be a pauper all your life.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is true. I agree with that. Yeah. Right. It does say. Appreciate your call, bud. Let me take one more here. Good morning. You on there? 8:40. Morning.
Good talk show going. But hey, I want to hit on three topics, about 45 seconds, man. You know, number one, you, myself, and other people, man, Roberta, Frank, you know, we all fought for change and some type of at least infrastructure change on Fayetteville, man. And all the mayors, they lied to us, man. Said that they was gonna take these wood poles out of Fayetteville and run the line underground. They gonna move the poles behind the building. You know, to give the community a whole new look, even though they can't bring the business like they promised. But when you get a new look with the infrastructure, it just appears and look as though change is about to take place. And I think our government has failed us, man. Even though we went to the polls by the Grove, and they tell us to go vote, you know, every year. We understand that it takes time for change, but 20 years of promising on Fayetteville, man. Every time I come to work, and this is what I see, and I just hope, you know, before I leave, that they lead through infrastructure. They can do that. They do infrastructure all over the city. I'm quite sure that Fayetteville been a shovel-ready project for years. Another thing, this Greg Gunn thing, you know, I think that the city of Montgomery has turned their head against the Greg Gunn thing. I think the news media is downplaying when they are fighting at the top. The president is fighting for police reform, and I know Mayor Stephen Reed told us to hold his feet to the fire. That he wanted a civilian review board before 2020, and that was in 2020. We're going to 2021 now, soon to be 2022. I think our city government has failed the mission of the people, man. You know, something that, you know, I may have been leading the charge along with other people, man, but this fight has been going on ever since Reverend Knuckles, Terry Dawson, and other city council people have fought for a civilian review board long time ago. And now I think they have turned their deaf ear to the system. I'm going to start raising some plan about this. And my last topic that I'm going to be out, and I'm glad, once again, I'm glad I'm not an elected official because I can do a little bit more. You have an organization in this city that controls this control candidates. They control who goes to offer. They want to have the credit for being given. They want to be given the credit for certain candidates being in office. Man, I'm gonna fight it. I'm gonna fight like hell, man, to expose this private party, this family structure party, man, who get all the claim or want to get the claim as though they are the big dog because they have the money machine behind them. That got to stop. If you want to hear William Boyd voice, I promise it's coming. So when they're out there putting them candidates out there, they put all their money behind them. I'm gonna spend a little money, and we're going to let the people know these are not the people choice. These are the private choice of this private family-ran political organization, and it must stop. Have a good day, my brother.
All righty then. Good morning. Who's this? I guess you get them at DMV. I guess at the DMV. Yeah, the probate judge. 5 o'clock. You said what time they close? Oh well, I don't know any. That's true. Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah. You do. I thought I don't the state ID are well your driver license is 4 years. Right. Well, that's not it. All right, appreciate it. That's not it. Only black people were running. Good morning. Marsha Johnson. Okay, thank you, ma'am. Marsha is Shelley, we call her Councilman Johnson now. Good morning. Yes. Free. Oh, you don't? Okay. Oh. Well, outstanding. We learned something new. I knew we get a free because John told us that they give the state's got a vehicle where they come and give you an idea out in rural area. So John Merrill. Well, I am sure I'm gonna go down there and get that interview and bring it back. I'm gonna go down there and talk to him about it.
He used a good hammer. I grew up on backside of Fairview Avenue on Marshall Street, and they've been promising for 40 years they were going to do something with Fairview Avenue. And same thing they've been promising with the Southern Boulevard. Same thing. And come and go. But until the people come raise hell, then it's not going to change.
I hear you. Well, hey, it is what it is, and you're right about that. They've been promising since I remember former Congresswoman Martha Ruby, former Congresswoman, former City Council member, and her and Councilman Calhoun would go down on Fairview Avenue. We have this thing about charrettes and all this thing, and boy, you know, we got a lot of meetings about meetings, but we really don't have a hell of a lot going on over there. And maybe the sausage just takes a long time to make. I don't know.
Over there on
yeah, as a matter of fact, Federal Drive, we need some pavement over there because my car, you know, we need to. Now I'm gonna start reading hell about Federal Drive since that's my area over there. So we got to. I think I am. I'm gonna call that other mayor and see if we can get something done. All right, yeah, the mayor of the airways has got to call the other mayor of the land and say we need to smooth out Federal Drive, okay? And oh, another thing too. Now, I'm sitting out in my yard the other day, right? I'm watching people do yard work. Okay, Z and Marcia, they were doing yard work. And I'm looking, and I saw somebody come down there, and they're going down the road, throw their can in my yard. Now, he lucky that I didn't have the taser. I got one of them tasers. See, that the next time I catch somebody, as they throw their arm out the window, I'm gonna tase them. Okay? Don't be throwing crap in my yard. Okay? Now I got the dog thing taken care of. The lady that used to bring her dog in my yard and let him do his business, I told him and her, I told her and the dog one day, you know, the next time he hikes his leg up or bends his butt, I'm gonna tase both of y'all. I haven't seen him come back. Okay, they haven't been back since then. Okay, I showed him my taser. I said, let that ugly mutt one time put his leg up in my yard to pee on anything or to drop his load. Both of y'all gonna get tased, and I'll gladly go to jail. Since then, nobody's dog has left their business in my yard because I mean it too. Now, Now I got to teach these people with these cars going down the street, don't throw your crap in my yard. Because if I catch that arm out the window, I'm going to tase you. Okay, I'm going to sit right there behind that tree. And I'm going to get you. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. I'm going to get you. Okay. So I took care of the dog problem. You know, I took care of the dog problem. So now we're good. Okay. Okay. So we're all good. See, you can get things done, but you just got to be resolute in it. Because, and when I get on the city council, I'm only going to do one term. We're going to make a law where you cannot walk around these streets with your ugly dog, okay, without a bag and a pooper scooper. That's a $500 fine. I mean, you know, that's really disrespectful to let your dog walk in somebody else's yard and drop their load and you don't pick it up. Okay? Yeah, when I get on the city council, yeah, that's exactly, if I don't do nothing else, we're gonna get that law passed so you can't so you can't just let your dog drop it in my yard, okay? Tase them first and then call the police. Anyway, see you guys later. We'll catch you tomorrow.
News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Tanya Terry.
Here's the dog and the owner.
The government says fully vaccinated people can gather safely outdoors now without wearing masks, but in small groups. President Joe Biden made that announcement outside the White House Tuesday. The CDC still recommends everyone mask up inside. Virus cases are trending down nationwide. Biden has targeted July 4th as a return to normal. Leaders across Alabama are responding to the census results, saying this is a good thing for Alabama. The state's population climbed from 4.8 million in 2010 to 5.03 million in 2020, enough to keep the state from losing in representation in Congress. The Census Bureau will release more detailed data on counties and cities in August. And the Montgomery City Council's newest member has been determined from Tuesday's election. After being forced into a runoff from last month's vote, Marsha Johnson will be the new District 3 councilwoman. She beat Adrian Larkin with about 60% of the vote. I'm Tanya Terry for WSFA 12 News.
News Radio